Right, so I have returned today to do the next chapter in the ever-growing Youjo Senki manga saga. This chapter being chapter 7, which is the middle part of the actual War College arc. If I can even pronounce the word. There we are. I didn't know we get adverts on streams. But they always give it to me as well. I don't understand that. Ah, damn it, there's a bit of hidden. There we are. That's how I can hear the slightest bit of audio interference on my end. Hopefully I just fixed it. I actually don't know what's going on though. It's like the slightest tiniest bit of audio interference. It's like really freaking annoying because you actually can hear it ever so slightly. This is just me. I'm not too sure. If anyone can hear a little bit of a popping noise, do tell me. Otherwise, it's just my headphone being a bit weird. But anyway, yeah. So we're in the middle part of the actual arc, and as we know, I think we ended on last chapter. Tanya going towards that whole entire area, and then the actual Brigadier General being in there, and they actually fated to meet, and they actually do meet. So the next chapter will probably be their conversation, which I believe is probably the bulk of the chapter because it's actually only 33 pages long, while the next one is actually 75. Which is interesting because this one tends to be the most sporadic of all the mangas I cover when it comes to page length, because it just ranges from like, I don't know, 30 pages up towards of 75. I'm like, the hell happened? Was it going up so much and then it just goes down so much afterwards? It's a bit weird. Anyway, yeah. Let's actually start this. I need to cancel down some of my tabs as well, but loads of tabs open. Oh, it's actually bad video settings. Why are there bad video settings? Is YouTube just screwing me over again? Oh no, I did fix the latency issue. That's fine. Sweet. All is well in the world, as they say. So yes. Let us drink some water before we start, because otherwise I'll probably die halfway through. Tends to be the case because England is freakishly hot today. Well, actually not so much anymore, but was earlier on, and my throat just dries out like no one's business in the heat. Anyway, let's begin. So, I beg your pardon, Brigadier General. I should actually really get rid of the actual docking station of my Mac on this one as well. There we are. Oh, it's really freaking annoying. So, chapter 7 is actually enhance that as well, if it wants to. It doesn't want to. Actually, just cancel that as well, because otherwise there is so much that goes wrong with this. There we are. Right, so it won't enlarge, it's an arsehole to me, but we shall not worry. We shall not worry. It's alright. Just treat me as an alumnus now, for now. Just treat me as an I can't even say that word. Alumnus for now. That's it. Alumnus. Alumnus? It's an alum, which is like a student. Alumnus. Something like that. Something like that. Yes, thank you. I'm student Tanya Dugo Chaff. I think that's how you actually pronounce the words. Actually, I quickly cross-referenced the German language, and I wasn't so far off. I was like, at least when it comes to pronunciation, I'm not so bad in German, as I'm actually terrible in Italian. But at least I'm not actually so bad in German. Serving as lieutenant for the Empire, I'm Brigadier General Zetor, serving as the Deputy Chief of Staff of the service in the Imperial Army General Staff. Lucky me, this is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If my tab wants to go down, there we are. Or not. Making a friend in high places never hurts. See, for a moment you forget that she's a murderous lolly. Just for a moment you forget it. And you're just like, well, you know what? She seems pretty cool. And you remember, oh yeah, she's a bloodthirsty lolly, who also might have sociopathic issues as well. It's just those moments. It hits you like a speeding bullet. The computer's actually freezing up a lot now. Great. Go on. There we are. Amazon's really trying to... Apparently it is. I checked it. I actually went through everything. Unless... I don't know. I could be incorrect with that philosophy. I might just cross-reference the wrong language, and maybe I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't know. I cross-reference the German language just in case, because 10 times I think that might be where it's drawing inspiration from. But I don't know. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it is. I don't know. Furthermore, a staff of service. That's a group very close to the top of the rear. I almost jumped out of joy. Jumped out of joy. Oh yeah, jumped out of joy. Get yourself together and use this chance well, Tanya. I don't know. That's weird then. I could have sworn. I don't know. I'm curious now, actually, whether or not it actually happens to be a German name. Cause it's I don't know what other language it could have been. Now speaking to the devil. It's an honor to meet you, Brigadier General. That's certainly a pair of determined eyes. Lieutenant, do you have any urgent business to attend to? No, I don't, Brigadier General. Brigadier General. Brigadier. I say Brigadier sometimes, I don't know why. I say Brigadier, it's Brigadier. A Brigadier General in the General Staff probably had enough of people trying to curry favour with him. I'll pretend to be indifferent. I've come here to study today. I see. Her out-of-place war merits for her age seems to be the result of hard work. This is a good chance, time permitting, I would like to hear about young people's opinions. Yes, I'm glad to, if you don't mind. It's fine, take it easy. I heard about you. You seem to be making a name for yourself. Yes, thanks to the over-embellished evaluations. Alright, let's hear your opinions. It's fine to be subjective, Lieutenant. Jesus Christ, my headphones are getting in the way. In your view, how would the current war develop? The soldiers discussing about the war is like chit-chatting. In the army superiors appreciates those who will discuss in detail and report in often. With all due respect, your question is too vague, General. It's preferable to just ask about what you don't know. Indeed, let me put it this way. In your opinion, what would be the form of this war be? I beg your pardon? This is beyond my pay grade to speak about. That might, yeah, you actually might be correct in that philosophy then. I don't know, because I cross-reference the wrong language, I don't know. Because how you pronounce it in German is actually not so far off the beaten path of how you actually really pronounce it though. It's the kind of way, the second name at least, not the first. And the first one might be Russian. The second one, when you actually kind of cross-reference it and actually hear it, it's not too far from how you would actually naturally pronounce it, which is that's why I kind of was led to assume that maybe it might be derived from there. I might be incorrect. I just went there first with there first and go everywhere else afterwards. Because it sounds when you actually listen to it, it sounds very, 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 very much like that. The first name not so much. It's just the second one. It could be a marrying of both languages. I'm not too sure. They could be taken one from one and another from the other, possibly. It's fine. Speak freely. Right. It would be a false pass to keep deferring, as you wish, sir. To leave a good impression, present action basics number 1. This war will be assert your prediction with confidence. A great war. I am confident the war will develop this way. What is a great war? Yes, one that would involve most of the great powers and turn into global conflict. What's your basis? The Empire may be a young great power, yes, it's unmatched by any one of the older great powers alone. Presentation basic number 2. Don't slack on Elab there we are. Words. Elab elab elaboration. Elaboration? The only way to avoid unnecessary meetings is to establish a mutual understanding. In this respect, the Brigadier General is upholding the principle, holding a serious conversation with a mere lieutenant. Hence, the Empire will most likely triumph over another great power one-on-one. Don't leave page, I want to see about actually anything at the bottom. No, I didn't. Cool. Just in case. Just in case. We are certainly going to win against the Republic. Pointing out against the Republic, which is inappropriate for me to say, makes the conversation smoother. But it's hard to imagine that the United Kingdom and the Union would just sit around and do nothing. To be honest, I've actually been there before as well, watching the Soldier Critic all day, and then just coming to a different place as well. It happens all the time. Is it a completely different language to what we actually assumed? Oh, that makes sense now then. Still weird that if you actually hear it in German, it sounds perfect. It's weird. Maybe it is a Russian name then. I learned something new today. I cross-referenced the wrong language. I actually kind of heard it like a bit different, but still, I get it. Thanks. Actually, I needed the whole entire thing of maybe I'm wrong in my assumptions. I think it probably was wrong in how I assumed it probably was derived from there. Also, United Kingdom as well. Hey, that's us. Except the war involves none of the this direct interests. Seeking reinformation of what would be taken for granted. Wonderfully, truly wonderful. Oh, wonderful, truly wonderful. This is what I call an intellectual conversation. Yes, it's true for direct ones, but on the other hand, they must choose whether to allow the emergence of a hegemon? Hegemon? What the hell's a hegemon? That's interesting. Oh, leadership or dominance, especially by one state or social group over others. Huh. I did not know that. A hegemon. That's actually a pretty freaking cool word. Well, there we are. This has actually turned into a definition lesson as well. Not just a history lesson, a definition lesson. A hegemon? I think it's how you pronounce it. Oop, wrong button. Hegemon? Yes, an empire in the middle of the continent that has eliminated the Republic isn't just relatively stronger than the other great powers, but absolutely dominating. Thus, if the Republic is not eliminated swiftly enough to make foreign interventions unfeasible, it will definitely trigger a chain of reaction of foreign interventions. Yes. This is the history I know in my previous incarnation. Hey, here we go. History lessons, boys. History lessons. I see, certainly. It's preferable for things to turn out this way. But wouldn't the Francois Republic also has a chance of eliminating us and becoming a hegemon? This would also be hard to swallow for them. He's found holes in what I said. I agree. It would be bad to fail again. For this reason, I think they will plot for the Empire and Republic. Republic's mutual destruction. Specifically, I fear they'll start by offering loans to the Republic, lend-lease, and sending volunteers. Lend-lease. I'm giving you weapons and support in exchange. You get me? Ah, there we are. The history lesson number 1 of the stream. When the Empire and Republic are worn out, they'll harvest everything under the guise of nice mediators. I think this is the blueprint of other great powers have in mind. I see. What if the Empire wins a crushing victory, As a matter of national security, a joint intervention of other great powers may be inevitable. I see. Interesting hypothesis. Seeing she answered everything immediately, how do we deal with it then? There's no silver bullet. We should follow history and try to make peace. If that's not possible, the top priority would be minimizing losses. Instead of winning? Not afraid of saying things that may undermine her position, probably out of loyalty to the Empire. Yes, if you take it literally. Damn it, I just talked to him like I am his college lecturer. Even worse, I made a statement that cast doubt on my fighting spirit in front of the Deputy Chief of Staff of Service. But that doesn't mean we don't seek victory. It actually came out of South Park. Is that actually probably a reference to South Park? Maybe, I don't know. It seems like very where'd my water go? There it is. It seems like a very South Park-esque drawing. It's actually for the Deputy Chief as well. I think it actually is, the more I think about it. Do carry on. It is my belief that achieving national defense without losing should be defined as the Empire's victory. How could we achieve it? Accomplish bleeding the enemy out completely and crush their war-sustaining power. The face overflowing with confidence, a staff officer who can assert such groundbreaking strategy with so much confidence can probably accomplish it. Throwing in buzzwords like accomplish, completely, and crush, which soldiers like, showing eager fighting spirit. How's that? Just for a moment you forget this is all about war. That is to say, to eliminate the enemy field army. It's ideal but difficult. That means this question is a bait to see if I'm talking tough to pander to him. I think that would be hard. We should play defense in trench warfare in order to wear out the enemy's human resource. Human resource? This is abnormal. An officer candidate with mature personality and vision. One who clearly treat people like objects. There we are. I thought it was going to get stuck again. So, we can win then. We will not lose. That is it. This way we can conserve the power to deliver a blow and increase the strategic flexibility. I must show my enthusiasm here. I'm intrigued. What is a blow? Since he is showing a certain degree of interest, the last impression is important. Employing flight mages for battlefield interdiction and infiltration assaults in order to tire the enemies out. Mages can deliver artillery-like firepower in trench warfare and are more maneuverable than the infantry, and thus are the best branch of service to hunt down the enemy soldiers. To win while minimizing our own losses, we need to employ attritional containment doctrine, where mages are the best. I see. You're good at promoting your point. I'm flattered. She was already at combat capable level. Then in order to use mages as the backbone of the attritional containment doctrine, how large of the formation do we need? A wing. I believe a wing is the best. Oh, right. I see. That's actually kind of interesting, actually. So I thought it had to be. I thought to myself, okay, let's cross-reference German first to see whether or not it actually makes sense there. And when you actually hear it said out in German, it does actually kind of. It doesn't sound too far away from the actual pronunciation, but maybe. Hold up. Let's actually go and see how it's pronounced in Russian now. I'm actually beyond curious. So English to Russian. Alright, so how you spell her name again? second name's actually beyond me sometimes. There we are. Oh, no, wait. Degudkov. I think that's how you pronounce it. Degudkov? Degudkov? Degudkov. Yeah. See, it's Degudkov in Russian, how you pronounce the word. How you actually pronounce the name. Okay, now we know. Now we actually know the proper pronunciation, Degudkov. There we are. Now we can go forward. Not mistaking her pronunciation of her name. Perfect. Now I have left an impression in the general staff. This time I'll have a safe elite course in the rear. A wing, a practical choice. I'll consider it, Lieutenant Degudkov. I can't say it now, damn it. Degudkov, there we are, Degudkov. I consider it Lieutenant Degudkov. Damn it, wrong tab again. Because German they pronounce it Degudkov, I think that's how you pronounce it. Degudkov or something like that, that's how you pronounce it in German, I think. But yeah. Just in case someone comes into my stream one day and goes, "Hey mate, you're saying that wrong." Like, just in case. You never know. You never know. You have to prepare yourself for these kind of things. So sometimes people might just go, "Hey mate, you're pronouncing that word incorrectly. That's not good." So it's best to actually kind of just get it right. Imperial Capital Berlin. Imperial Army General Staff Operational Department. You never know. Yeah. Because I mean, a naked eye, like me, with a naked eye, I would have said, "Oh, it might be derived from German." That's why I went straight to German. But that's why it never sounded weird in German. That's why I kind of always considered maybe it was German. But then once you actually hear it in Russian, it makes more sense. Degudkov. Degudkov. Yeah. It makes more sense. It actually makes more sense that way. Sometimes these languages get beyond me. Sometimes I believe, like Spanish, not a problem. Like it's always fine. There's only certain words in Spanish you just can't pronounce. But other than that, I'm good. But any other language, sometimes it's either beyond me or I'm actually pretty alright with it. I don't know. Just one of those things, I guess. Congratulations on your promotion, Lieutenant Colonel. Rerugen. Take a look. Rerugen. I said Rerugen. And welcome. Thank you very much, Brigadier General Rudestov. There we are, Rudestov. Now, Lieutenant Colonel, I would like you to head to Norden as soon as possible. Here's your letter of appointment. As soon as you know the strategic level of confusion here has a severe impact on the northern front, and I should head. There we are. As you know, strategic level of confusion has a severe impact on the northern front. I should head there and get a grasp of the situation. That is correct. While the Rhine front is stabilizing, we still don't want to fight on two fronts. And this is to decide which side to finish first. It is correct. After inspecting the north, you are to head west at the double. Yes, sir, at once. Oh, by the way, Lieutenant Colonel, take a look at this on your way. A paper from Zetor. It's a good read. Understood. The form and forecast of the ongoing Great War sounds like a scholarly brigade. Sounds like the scholarly brigadier general Zetor, if they actually say the word. What? Great War? This kind of war? This form of war? Is it possible? is possible due to the Empire's fragile national defense stemming from the geopolitical reasons. I know, it's just like the police cars and fire engines sound so freaking loud in this country. And it always, because I'm like about a good 30 meters away from the actual road, it just gets even louder and louder. It's just, it just gets to the point of just like, why do I live on the main road? Why is it just me on the main road? Even as their military may surpass all the neighbouring great powers, they're still on thin ice. Damn it, still on thin ice. Oh, I didn't actually hit the button. Sweet. I thought I actually hit the button. On the other hand, the great powers with the powerful empires as the neighbour, it's not unreasonable for them to worry about their national security. Hence the alliance with the kingdom of can't pronounce the word now. Ilatoa, and the aggression pact with the Union are all results of diplomatic efforts. But if Legadonia and Entente is out of the picture, France Republic will have to bear the pressure from the Empire alone. To point out the problem, the Union of France Republic used to be traditional allies, but with to the establishment of the communist regime, the alliance fell apart. Seizing opportunity, the Empire signed a non-aggression pact with the Union. France Republic hoped of an opening and a second front against the Empire, now falls on the Legadonia Entente. This is why the Empire is forced to fight on a two-front war, and for the great powers, the only permissible outcome of the war is the mutual destruction of the Republic and the Empire. Great war is possible, and the political system required to fight the world, total war. That is where all belligerents have to mobilize everything they've got. Unlike any wars up till now, the idea of modern warfare, a war that presupposes mass consumption of weapons and soldier, an enormous consumption of human resource consumption on a scale that may cause national economic collapse. Yes, consumption, not as sacrifices, but as a numerical consumption. Holy cow. It's a lot of words. Where people are regarded as numbers of consumable goods. Freaking goddamn it. Again. Hold on. There we are. I thought I actually turned the microphone off, but just in case the sound gets a bit too loud again. A horrific world. What is this unsettling feeling? I recall this abnormality. Where? No. What have I forgotten? No! Total war, Great War. I have never heard these terms before, but something similar where I have. Chuckles that sound like witch laughter and something else of unknown nature flowed into my head naturally. Where did Brigadier General Zatur get this idea? Perhaps I also seen the same thing some before. Something lies ahead of the keen eyes. Ooh, baby, that's pretty good. Oh man, we got some translation notes. Oh, it's unimportant translation notes. It's fine. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Whew, my brain. Historically, this seems to be a post created by Yamato Isuruku in the Combined Fleet HQ. In the Allied Interrogation Report of the only, the holder, Watanabe Isuji, this was translated to Staff Gunnery Officer, but on the Japanese website, this job is described to be that of a messenger's, making sure commands and reports reach their receivers. This is definitely not it. Somewhat is unquestionably staff. The poem lies in Senmu. It is a term created by Akiyama Shinayuki as a third aspect in the art of war in addition to tactics, senjutsu, and strategy, senryaku. It seems to cover logistics, administration, maintenance, communications, etc. The lack of a better term is settled with service to cover all aspects, even though it's vague. There we are. Same, my brain's just like, what's going on here? Like, history, the idea of, like, the communist regime, like, whoa, God. My history teacher never taught me this. This is why it's kind of interesting. I never actually got taught all these things. I got taught like the world wars and stuff like that, but it never really kind of went beyond like it never went beyond that whole entire thing. Just never beyond like, oh, okay, like this is what the war was. This is what happened in the war. These are the bad people. These are the good people. That kind of thing. It never went beyond that point. And then we get like socio-political like regimes and stuff like that. And this way, like, fracking hell, what's going on here? Like you kind of lose yourself for a bit. Like where am I? Am I back in class now? Yeah, history lessons weren't that great at my school. The best history lessons I ever had was Assassin's Creed. That's what I used to say when I was a kid. The best history lessons I ever had was Assassin's Creed. It's the only ones that ever taught me anything, and that was kind of like the most abstract of all history lessons. Still, but it did something more than my school did. That's why I know probably a lot more about the Knights Templar than I did beforehand. But you never know. But yeah, I mean, all in freaking all. I mean, it's interesting. I think the main thing I like about this manga so far is the kind of varying impressions that people have and how they kind of actually, almost in a way, talk to each other. It's the kind of major thing. It's kind of the thing I like most. It's just them talking to each other because it's just so interesting. It's one of those things. You get absorbed in a dialogue because it's just so cool. Because you get to see how these people go about kind of taking down the enemy and actually winning, and how they see this war. It's just actually kind of interesting. It's also interesting to see how Tanya actually brings in like kind of what happened in her own, or his own world in this case, into this world. It's actually kind of interesting because you get to see how that would kind of adapt to this one, because it's not technically like the most strangest of all things to actually include. I thought it's actually kind of neat, because why not actually bring it up in some ways? But yeah, I mean, it's interesting for that reason, because you just get to know. You get to know how these people work. It's kind of why I like this arc a lot, because it's kind of taken a step back from the action and kind of just said, look, okay, why don't we just sit down with the characters and allow them just to kind of speak their effing mind, and allow them just to kind of take center stage. So what this actual manga's done in this arc is actually kind of neat. It's actually kind of benefited it, because now we know a lot more about how this world works, how these characters work, how these characters see the war, how they want to go about winning the war and stuff like that. It's actually pretty freaking neat. And as well, the terms themselves, freaking hell. Like, by the end of this whole entire manga, I'd probably be like the most knowledgeable person in like kind of logistics, history of certain things and how things go about winning. I'd be pretty freaking good, I'd be pretty freaking sound. Like, one manga's teaching me Italian and this one's teaching me goddamn history. Like, yeah, you can never say that mangas are pointless to read, because they do teach you stuff sometimes. But yeah, I think we actually conclude the actual war college arc next chapter. I think it's the second to last one, which then goes into the northern arc, I believe, which then goes into the declaration of war, which then goes into the next arc after that point. I think it's like 18 chapters in total so far, because again, this one has this sporadic upload, because I actually don't know who scanlates this actual manga. If anyone does it more than one person, because it used to be the ones who did Overlord, and then they dropped it, which was disappointing. So I actually have no idea. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I have to read this a bit more often, because it's actually it's one of those absorbing mangas that you just tend to lose yourself for a little bit. What I like about it, it's just one of those ones you tend to lose yourself just for a little while and go, you know what? It's pretty interesting. Like, just an alternate history war that actually kind of, in some sense of way, kind of brings in our own war into it. But yeah, I mean, all in all, pretty freaking good. So yeah. Yeah, that's why I always wondered, because it was just like 2 chapters, and then it just stopped, and then it was just like, oh, okay, well, that's just a bit disappointing. It was actually really annoying, because I like their scans, because they tend to be the kind of most concrete with grammar and everything like that. But I mean, it's just one of those things, I guess. But yeah, so all that said, I've indeed been the Drive. If you have enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole, and you do not leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. If you have enjoyed what I do here, and you want to stay a little bit longer, actually the word, then do leave a sub, because indeed it does help quite a bit. But until next time, I shall see you guys later. Bye for now.